are at the Vikings on Sunday. Baltimore has really flipped the script on the defensive side of the ball in recent weeks. Look at the points per game and the rushing yards per game. 32nd to second since the start of week 6 against the Rams. They are allowing 22 points fewer per game and 60 fewer rushing yards as well. 5th best in the NFL. Dan and RC are going to show us how it's done over at the touchscreen, fellas.
Part of this huge turnaround has been moving Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage with the acquisition of Alohi Gilman, but they've still been susceptible to the play-action pass, which is something KOC and the Minnesota Vikings love.
And this is going to be the thing that they have to stop. If you're thinking about playing against this Vikings offense, the number one thing the Ravens are going to have to do is handle that under center play action pass. So this is just last week. J.J. McCarthy back. Number one, we just talked about he's under center. Yep. Number two, they're in their kind of 12 or 21 personnel. Either way, they're presenting what looks like 2 tight ends. And the third part is this, RC. Oftentimes, they want those cut splits for that wide receiver to two-way go.
Because what the cut split's going to do, Dan, if you can watch Amik Robertson here on the bottom, he's immediately playing outside leverage because he understands how much field he has from the numbers to the sideline. So right off of the line of scrimmage, Justin Jefferson has him on the outside where he can get inside quickly.
And exactly, with the play action concept, we would call this what we call a sell it play action. What does that mean? Number one, I want downhill. You can see that this back is going essentially between that guard and the center at the defense. We're also pulling the backside guard. So this is presenting to that defense. Here comes run.
You know what I don't like about this from the start of the play, though? When you have Harper here sitting in the middle of the field, right away, we're letting J.J. McCarthy know that we have single high.
Yeah.
So it allows him to understand as soon as I come up from this play action, I know exactly where I'm going if I can get these backers to hinge up into the line of scrimmage on the play action.
And that's why the sell it is so at you, because we just want these guys to step up quickly. And it really becomes you, one of the best receivers in football, win on that in-breaker route.
Yep.
JJ, eyes down the middle of the field, right off the fake, and he's putting his back foot in the ground. That ball's coming out right as Justin Jefferson's rounding into the middle of the field. And the thing I don't
want to do for a young J.J. McCarthy is give him the picture right away so he can throw in rhythm where his talent gets to take over.
Okay, so can the Ravens defensively stop that? Well, I'll go to last week against the Miami Dolphins, Thursday night. You're going to see a lot of similarities. Number one, there's that kind of double tight end or fullback look. Number two, quarterback's underneath the center, and then here comes a what I would call sell it fake. It's the same action. Pull the backside guard, and we're downhill.
Also, Dan, we got the same thing, right? We have a single high safety here. You're going to have Malachi Starks, who's rotated into the strong side to be a part of the run fit. And now you have the backers once again on this play action pass, biting up into the line of scrimmage.
And it's going to be a very similar concept for us offensively, where here just comes this in-breaker in the middle of the field that's wide open against this Baltimore Ravens defense and a huge completion. What has to improve for the Ravens?
The first thing is this tips and tendencies, Dan. If I walk up to the line of scrimmage, I want to know down, distance, and formation. Given this formation, is this heavy run or is it heavy pass? And now, if I'm Malachi Starks, I know I'm the extra hitter. I don't have to bite up right away. Also, if I'm the flat defender here, I don't have to bite up right away. But you will lose these players, Dan, and we have to talk to our corners about squeezing the outside shoulder and diving on the leverage or diving on the end instead of giving the inside up right away.
So you're looking at a Minnesota Vikings offense that really wants to live in this, and I would tell you it's the most comfortable thing J.J. McCarthy has shown to do this season. And then you're watching this Baltimore Ravens defense that no question has improved. But if I were the Vikings and I watch clips like this, I want to get into formations and looks that are going to present very similar to what the Dolphins did and try to attack the middle of the field in that play action pass game.
Yeah, what's going to be the adjustment, right, Dan, is when is Zach Orr going to say, okay, guys, we're going to have to go man-to-man on the outside because we don't want to remove somebody from the box to play shell coverage, right? Yeah. And we'd rather be sticky in coverage on the outside.
Yeah. That was so cool, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
I love it. All right, let's go to the other side of the ball, Mina, because we saw Lamar returning from that hamstring injury. He throws 4 touchdowns against Miami, but Brian Flores' defense is a whole other thing altogether. So what are you looking for?
I think this is a massive, massive game for Todd Monken to rise to the challenge. Obviously, going up against Brian Flores, you saw last week put together one of the best game plans I've ever seen against the Detroit Lions. You're going to see something very different versus Baltimore, right? He's not going to be focused on sending pressure up the middle. If anything, I think he'll probably borrow from the first couple of weeks, or pardon me, the games against the Lions and the Chiefs, where you saw linebackers almost show pressure and then drop and spy Lamar, contain him, and he was sacked. It was sort of, there weren't long sacks. It was like 0-1 yards or whatever, but it came out of a containment strategy. So if you're Todd Monken and Flores does that, can you find a way to attack the spy? And Baltimore hasn't been able to do that. They weren't able to do that, in those 2 games. He has to be responsive in the game to the way in which Flores' defense approaches containing Lamar on the ground, and they have to punish him for it in a way that we did not see against Detroit or Kansas City with Lamar.
Okay, as we take a look at our picks, get ready for it.
Wow.
We're all on the Ravens. I mean, RC, stunning what Lamar Jackson has been able to do against the NFC. 24-3. Why is that?
Because he's very good. But
they just don't see him enough.
I think the other piece of it is, if you don't play Lamar Jackson often, it's startling how explosive he can be, how fast he can get up on you. And it's one of those things I always say, when coaches put the game plan in, they put them in like somebody who ain't got to go out there. And they're always like, hey, you know what? On this play, you're going to drop out and you're going to be the spy on Lamar. I want you to track him and attack the hip. And you be like, coach, you attack the damn hip. You ever tried to attack Lamar's hip? The hip just keep going the other dang going away. And so I think that's one of the differences between being a team in the AFC North or the AFC that gets to see him often.
When I was with the Lions, our defenders used to say the same thing about Vic. They used to be like, you can't simulate it unless you play it all the time.
Yeah.
I just like to clarify, I didn't pick a tie. I don't know what's going on with my picks today, but I didn't think this would be a tie game. I just want to make that clarification.
And here it's so far away, Mina, I ain't even know.
I know, me neither. None of us even noticed, so you're good.
All right, I shouldn't say anything.
I'm really glad you pointed that out, though, because somebody else would have, Mina. AI-generated fantasy insights presented by IBM facing the Vikings. Both Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are on the Watson X boom list of players projected to exceed expectations. Lamar is number 1 on the list. He has a high projection of 27.8 fantasy points, tied for the most this week. Henry is 6th on the boom list, his projected high of 20.1.
All right, Vikings fans, buckle up because this one is wild. Reports are saying that Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals could be headed for a split after this season. And guess what? Minnesota is already being mentioned as a possible destination. Yeah, you heard that right. Kyler Murray to the Vikings. Let's talk about it. So here's the deal. Kyler's dealing with a foot injury right now, and he's on injured reserve. In his absence, Jacoby Brissett has stepped in, and believe it or not, the Cardinals' offense actually looks better. That's crazy to say, but it's true. They've been moving the ball more consistently, they look more balanced, and suddenly people in Arizona are asking, do we even need Kyler Murray back as the starter? Now, according to Adam Schefter, and you know when Shefty drops something, it's serious. The Cardinals and Murray are expected to have discussions after the season about his future. And the quote that really stood out to me was this. One source told ESPN that a separation is imminent. That's not smoke, that's fire. Arizona has to make a huge decision by mid-March. They either trade him, release him, or pay him another $19.5 million in guaranteed money. That's a massive call, and if they don't believe Kyler's their future, a trade makes total sense. Now, let's bring it back to Minnesota. Our quarterback situation? Yeah, still a giant question mark. Carson Wentz is done for the year. J.J. McCarthy, listen, he played well last week, but we all know he's still a work in progress. He's got the tools, but the confidence, the decision-making, the command of the huddle, that's not fully there yet. So, if JJ doesn't finish this season strong, the Vikings could be in the market for a veteran QB in 2026. And if Kyler Murray becomes available, you better believe the Vikings will be one of the first teams picking up the phone. Let's talk numbers for a second. Murray's contract is huge, but it's not unmovable, especially if Arizona agrees to eat part of it in a trade. He's under contract through 2028, but the real guarantees start to fade after next year. That means a team like Minnesota could take him on for a shorter commitment if things don't work out. Now, talent-wise, say what you want about Kyler, but the guy can ball. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's thrown for over 14,000 yards, 84 touchdowns, and rushed for nearly 2,000 yards in his career. When healthy, he's one of the most dynamic dual-threat QBs in the league. Here's where I stand. I actually think this would be fascinating. Kyler and Kevin O'Connell's offense? Man, that could be special. Imagine the designed rollouts, the bootlegs, the deep shots to Jefferson and Addison, the read options with Chandler or Ty Chandler. That's scary stuff, and it's but we can't ignore the risk. Kyler's had issues staying healthy, and there's been questions about leadership and consistency. You don't trade for this guy unless you're sure he's locked in mentally and physically. So let's play this out. Imagine 2026. JJ McCarthy doesn't quite take the leap. The Vikings are sitting there thinking, okay, we've got a playoff-ready roster. Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, a solid O-line, and a top 10 defense. Then suddenly Kyler Murray hits the trade market. Do you roll the dice? Do you say, let's go all in for the next 2 years and make a real run? Because let's be honest, we've been in quarterback limbo since Kirk Cousins left. We've seen what an average QB situation does to this team. Maybe it's time to swing big again. So yeah, this Kyler Murray rumor might just be talk for now, but it's the kind of rumor that makes sense. The timing lines up, the need lines up, and the fit, honestly. It's kind of exciting to think about. If the stars align, if the contract works, if the Cardinals pick up some of that cap, Kyler Murray in purple could absolutely happen. But I want to hear from you guys. Would you take Kyler Murray as the Vikings' next QB? Or should we keep developing McCarthy and trust the process? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed because this offseason is gonna get crazy. I'm Victor, this is Report Vikings, and if this rumor turns into reality, oh man, we'll have a lot to talk about. Skol, baby!